Alright everyone, I'm really excited to do this review today. Not really a review as much as just first impressions and thoughts on the Moto 360 Gen 2 watch. I just picked this up about 5 days ago from Best Buy, and I'm going from a Citizen Eco Drive, so I'll show you that. This here's about a $600 watch. It's nice and thick. Quick comparison, they're both 42 millimeter. Both roughly the same thickness, but this watch has got to weigh about twice as much as the Moto 360. This is a heavy watch, you know it's on, it's high quality, whereas this feels a little bit less of a lower quality, I should say, as kind of a first impression. The other thing is, a watch like this, you never do anything to. It just works. It has a solar panel in it, so you don't really replace a battery ever or do anything. This requires nightly charging. Had it, like I say, about 5 days. I've averaged out. I have, on average, 36% battery life remaining, which, you know, I can comfortably get through a day, but it's also not going to win any awards as far as battery life goes. That being said, it does have Wi-Fi enabled, Bluetooth. I mean, you're using quite a bit of energy, so it's actually kind of amazing to think that something so small, I keep the screen always on, and the fact that it can do so well is pretty amazing. So, go over a couple first impressions here. It's lighter than I expected. I hardly feel it on my wrist going from a Citizen to this. So far, the screen has been very good as far as scratch proof. It does smudge, obviously, but it has not scratched. I went for the black because that's all they had in stock, and I really did not feel like waiting. Also living in a climate that's about anywhere between -10 degrees Fahrenheit and 15 degrees, I did not want to order and have it sit outside. So, kind of some things there, but yeah, overall very good. I love the backlight here. I can always read this, so even when it goes in its dim mode, which you'll see here shortly right there, I can still see this in sunlight. It fits under the cuff of a shirt very well, which is awesome because I wear a dress shirt during the day for work, and it tucks right under that very nicely. I also like the many different watch faces. So this is something I really didn't know much about. How many watch faces are there? You just hold down, and as you've seen in a lot of other videos, you can select between multiple different options, and then even within those options, there's custom settings. So here, if you go down to this little setting cogwheel and tap on that, you can actually change like background colors and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. One thing to keep in mind though is certain watch faces consume more energy than others. So this one's a pretty basic design. So this would be something with a black background. It's really not going to use as much energy as, say, the one that I have as my standard, which is this one here. I like this because it shows my steps, my heart rate, and the battery life of the watch. So I really like that, and each one of those little blue circles on the inner part there shows your progress. So I've reached my whole step goal for the day. It's all blue, same with my heart rate goal for the day. Those default to 10,000 steps and 30 minutes of active heart rate. It's got that little heart rate sensor on the back, which glows green when it's working. Another thing, my first impression here is I'm not nuts about this watch band. Going from my Citizen to this, it feels a little bit on the cheap side, and I will say it actually, there were 2 loops when I got it, and within 12 hours of use, the first loop actually broke. I did contact Motorola. They said they'd send me a whole new watch. Didn't want to do that because I already had this all set up. I ran both the updates, and I really did not feel like sending this back and waiting however long, couple weeks to get a new watch all over a band. So actually it doesn't even bother me having this one loop, so it turned out not to be a bad deal. But the overall quality of this I would not say is very high. I do get a sense it'll last a while, but it just doesn't have, you know, real quality feel to it compared to what I'm used to. One thing I like that I hear a lot of people don't like is the Moto Body app. And basically, so you're at this main screen, you swipe to the left, and this is where all your apps are. And I really don't have much on here yet. But if we go into Moto Body, this is the Motorola kind of tracking device for your health. It's really neat. It takes heart rate readings, I think, every 5 minutes. It has a running program, which is awesome. I didn't know any of this came on this when I bought it. But like steps, shows you, yep, I've reached my step goal of 10,000 for the day. If you scroll to the right, I really like this graphic. I'm coming from a Fitbit, and this is an awesome graphic. It shows you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through the week, and then the orange is your progress. So both days this week, I have reached my goal and then some. Same with the heart rate. You want 30 minutes a day. And this goes ahead and shows, yep, I reached my goal today. And that little red inner circle, I wasn't sure what that was at first. That's actually your progress for the previous day. So that's showing on my previous day, I've got a full circle and I know I'm good there. Running, it shows what I've done this week, or I can start a new one. So this week I've had one run. And here it kind of gives you a summary, which is cool. I went 1.32 miles. My best pace was a 5 minute and 15 second mile. My max beats per minute on my heart, which is just cool because my Fitbit didn't do a lot of this stuff. So I kind of like that. That's kind of an added bonus that I really wasn't expecting to like. And I've had a lot of reviews that I've read on people that just really aren't that impressed with the Moto Body, and I really do like it. So again, your options here, you can swipe down and it just takes you through some of the settings. Go into settings and you can adjust brightness, watch faces, font size, gestures, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, date and time, accessibility, permissions, all sorts of good stuff. You can power it off. Again, if we scroll this way, we get all the apps. If you scroll again, you get all your contacts, and you scroll yet again and you get an OK Google, which I'm coming from Amazon Echo. I've had Siri, I've had pretty much everything there is for voice recognition, and the Moto or OK Google works phenomenal. I'm a big fan. I think that is the best system for voice recognition and just overall usability for internet searches. So if we say OK Google, oh, this is one thing I learned too. It has to be on this screen. It can't be in the standby screen to use OK Google. Who is the 40th president? I mean, it pretty much grabs anything you've got. So you can go back. If you swipe up, that's where your notifications would be, but I'm up to date on those. If you click on the battery, it gives you different settings for battery life conservation. Click on the steps for this particular one. It shows your steps. So it is fairly intuitive. It could be a little bit better in some respects. Also, another thing I wasn't sure about when I purchased this watch is how is it to make a watch face? And it's very easy. You download any number of free apps, and there's free watch faces, all sorts of different kinds. So that is really cool. Depending on the mood you're in or the environment you're in, I'll have a different watch face for work than I will at home. It's just kind of fun to be able to play with that stuff, and you don't need a new watch every time you want something a little bit different. The other thing here is I'm not sure I could use this. The watch vibrates, but it does not have a speaker. So I would say the vibration might be enough for some people to wake up to if you're going to use this as an alarm. But for me, it's probably about the equivalent of a cell phone, but it's in a much smaller area. So I'm just not sure it'd be quite enough to wake me up, and that's not really a deal breaker. I didn't really purchase it as an alarm. One other drawback I never really heard too many people talk about was the phone battery dies quicker having this hooked up to it. For, you know, the Bluetooth usage, and it's in pretty much constant communication with the phone. My phone, I could easily go 2 days on a charge. And I'm probably now charging that every night as well. So that's kind of something to consider. It is going to use your phone a bit more. Again, not a deal breaker for me, but something you may want to consider. Also, another thing is on the standby screen, when you flip your wrist up, it's supposed to go into this screen. That doesn't always work for me, and I've also read other reviews where people say the same thing. So that's not really a deal breaker, but it is something to consider, that it's not always perfect in that regard. Overall, getting a little long-winded, but I love this watch. I would definitely purchase it again. This cost me $300, but through Best Buy they had a $50 instant gift card, and with other coupons and things I had, I paid about $230 out the door for this. So that to me is an excellent deal. So I would consider buying it. Very happy, and I'll have more reviews and a demo of the Moto Body app. Thanks for watching. Here's an idea of what the box looks like for it. It's fairly well packaged. Let's go ahead and open this up. So it basically just came in here, and you get this little collapsible thing that was holding the watch. This came between the band to protect it. We've got a receipt, we've got our manuals, and that was pretty much it, the watch band, and that's it. So fairly simple packaging. I would say not quite as good as, say, Apple products, but it was fairly well packaged.